guys, welcome back. Okay, so if you watched the last video when I was showcasing the YJ Omega, the new simulator, I went up against dinos, right? It was Stardust versus U.C.T, and it was such a close game. And I feel like the last play that caused me to lose was very questionable, because I felt like in hindsight, I think I should have just gone attack with Stardust assault mode and like crashed my Stardust and then activate Mystic Mind and then try to stall for like resources. But yeah, I did not want it to end that way, so I had to get a rematch with against Dinos. So this is gonna be the rematch, okay? So let's get right into it. So let's go and resume. Okay, so this hand is not bad, right? Because I have Gamma for an Ash. I have protection for the Stardust, right? So like if this doesn't resolve, then I can sit and interact that way, right? So typically this is Gamma's job, right? So go ahead, summon, activate effect, and he Gammas, and then I Gamma his Gamma. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. And then he ashes my my Gamma, and I'm like, what the heck? And the reason I just chained the Gamma regardless is because what this meant is he negated the activation, so that means I wouldn't be bound by the restriction. So that means that as long as I can get 2 bodies on board, so I can make Hulk, then I'm all good, and that's exactly what happened, right? So like this one will not resolve, but this one will, meaning I'll get 2 bodies on board. You see what I mean? See? So I end up getting 2 bodies on board for Hulk, and then he summons that, and then I proceed to do the Hulk play. I'm like, oh, okay, so far so good, right? Look at this, so cool. This sequence is amazing, man. It's amazing to generate resources, which is really cool. Look at all these special effects, man. It looks so cool. Puppet for Plague. Okay, so that Gamma was like I knew I would have multiple bodies on board, so there was no point in keeping the Gamma. So I want to see a fresh card, so that's why I top decked it before I use the Aurorodon, because that means that means the card won't be there when I draw off Librarian. Okay, so I summon that guy. This is the Pot of Greed, right? So I'll draw 2 now, and then Pot of Greed on his turn, which is so cool. You hate drawing these, but like it's bound to happen, right? It's part of the weakness of the deck, drawing into your Stardust assault modes. But nonetheless, I should have enough to have a formidable established on board, right? So then I set, and then I pass, and then end phase is definitely banished, and he goes. And he activates Fossil Dick, and right the minute he activates something, I have to start triggering my guys, because I want to make sure that whatever is he tries to I guess sequence on his turn, right? I want to be able to have the option to whether negate it or not, right? So right now he's activating a Fossil Dick. I couldn't negate a Fossil Dick, but I want to get to a Savage as fast as possible, and then yeah, he goes imperm. He imperms my what's it called? The Excel Synchro. I was a bit confused. If he was gonna imperm, why wouldn't he just imperm the formula? But I guess he just wanted me to just diminish my resources. But even then, I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what that. Maybe it was trigger happy, but I personally would have held that. I don't know why. Yeah, because you could have just you could have used it on my Stardust assault mode or my Savage. You know, like this is all like what if scenarios. Like you're not really sure what I'm gonna go into. I don't know. But I draw Mystic Mind, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. So I strike this because most of the time the Dino players get greedy and they don't expect a strike, and they just go, okay, I'll just chain Miscellaneous to anything that tries to attempt to negate it. But strike, you can't change strike. It's fused about 3, so you can't. So then I strike this, and I'm like, okay, I should be fine. And he activates Pill. And I get a little bit worried, but then I'm like, no, I should be okay, because it's not game, right? It's not game. The only way I can feel the little bit of pressure is if he has a baby in hand, right? And I'm like, okay, everything should be okay. And he activates effect, and he has Petite in hand. And I'm like, oh my god, am I in trouble? But then I'm thinking, he already used Oviraptor effect. The best thing he can summon is Pank, right? He summons Pank, he clears my board for 3k, and attacks me directly for 26. So I'm like, that's not game. Yeah, that shouldn't be game, so I shouldn't be alive. So the way I was sequencing out my turn, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna die. I have an imperm, right, to save my resources, but even if I imperm now, right, and save one of them, because I'm gonna lose majority of my board, so there's no point of imperming now. So the best bet I have is attempting to, well, you'll see what I mean. Summons Pank, and right here I'm hoping he doesn't pop my back row. I'm like, please don't pop my back row, don't pop my back row. And clears my board, clears everything. And then he passes, right? And then I draw another imperm. I was like, oh my god, it's so good. So already, I have a level 8 synchro play, right? I've already done the Hulk sequence, so that means Savage is live, right? Savage is live. So then I baited with this. I baited with Mystic Mind, right? Because I could have easily just gone imperm. But I knew that if I activated Mystic Mind, he would chain the Pank. And then I knew that I was free to do whatever I want after that, because I have imperm for this. Right? So then I go summon Dawnwalker and make a Savage. He tries to use the effect, but I negate it imperm. I make a Savage. It becomes bigger than all U.C.T, and I just run it over. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm in such a good position. I was like, oh my god, I get a freaking payback. Getting payback for the last match, man. So then he goes and and then he just passes. I'm like, okay, and then I just put on the pressure. I was like, okay, I still have two interactions, so I should be fine. So I attack. Put him in critical critical life points, and then I was like, okay, and he activates imperm. I'm like, oh my god, like what can he possibly have now? Like, I'm like thinking if he has the U.C.T, he has U.C.T live. Like if he has Oviraptor, I can stop Oviraptor. If he has Miscellaneous, like at this point I'm fairly confident I should be okay. Summons Oviraptor and I imperm it, and I'm like, yeah, this should be game. So we go to game 2, and I'm feeling pretty good. And then he makes me go first again, and I'm like, oh my god, what the heck? So then I use the effect, and I'm like, oh, I'll clear. And he gammas me. He's like, oh fuck. And that was, he learned from the first game, right? Because like you don't gamma this, you gamma this, because like there's no point of gammaing this, because like I could potentially have gamma, and this shuts out my gamma. So I was like, I have double strike and a tanky, and I hard drew this damn Garnet. You don't really want to be drawing this. But I think that double strike should be enough, unless he preemptively goes Miscellaneous. But other than that, I should stall him and then attempt to get my Stardust Dragon the next turn. So then I set the tanky as a bluff, in case I do run these out, right, preemptively, like if I burn these easily. At least psychologically, it'll be like, okay, he still has one more set. What could it be? So it kind of messes with your emotions sometimes, and sometimes it flusters you, and you're like, oh my god, I dealt with 2 strikes, and then there's still one more. Like, and it makes your judgment like a little bit cloudy, because you're like a bit frustrated, you know, because like, oh my god, I already went through 2, and he still has one more, you know, compared to not having an ending at all. And that's the big aspect in Yu-Gi-Oh that you can utilize at your advantage. So he goes Oviraptor again. And I just strike it, cause like why not? Just get rid of it, right? And then he sets one and passes, and then I'm like, okay. And I draw teleport. I'm like, oh my god, amazing teleport. So I have tanky and teleport, but I felt like I wanted to just burn the ash or anything to bait this one, right? Because this one gets me the Star Reflector anyways. So burning this shouldn't be that much of an issue, because like, okay, I get Reflector anyways, right? So then I go for Sentinel. I summon Sentinel. I'm like, please don't be a Call by the Grave or Imperm. I'm like, you know, like, that would suck. So then I go ahead and do everything, right? Do the standard play. I'm like, oh, everything's going good so far. I'm like, oh, amazing, right? Stardust hit the field. I have a Stardust Strike, a Stardust Stop mode, and the Strike. I should be okay. I use a somewhat activate, right? And this is what's amazing about Strike, is that it's good to I guess help you push Stardust Stop mode, or just be an interaction for anything other than that, right? So this is what I mean. Like and the ashes, like I said, this it same purpose as Gamma, same purpose as Call of the Grave. It just helps you push and be persistent with your dragon summon, right? And which is why this is just inherently so good within the deck, because it has synergy with it. It's meant to accommodate its intentions, and that's what's really cool about it. So then I strike that because there's like I mean I could have not struck it and saved this for something else, but I felt like an Omni negate compared to just one negate would not be good trade. Like this is just, that's it, one and done. It's gone. Whereas if I strike the Ash and I get a Stardust mode, that means that dragon, if I negate with it, it'll come back during the end phase, and that's just card economy wise, that's much more beneficial. So then I strike that, and then my dragon comes out. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And he just sets and passes, and I'm like, is this the beginning of the end? Is this it? And I was like, oh my god, like, did I just freaking get payback? And I draw another limited card. I'm like, oh my god, this is luck on my side, because like, oh my god, like that last game against Dinos was so close, man. It was so close, like, oh my god. So I go in with the motion. I'm like, I was like, should I just go for the Hulk play? But my feeling's kind of clogged if I do the Hulk play, because you need every possible zone you can utilize. So then look at this, 3 Stardust Dragons, 2 Stardust, OG Stardust, and Stardust Summer. So the evolution, this is it's, oh my god, how cool is this? 3 Stardust Dragons, and he's on 55, meaning this will be exact game. That's so cool. Oh my god. Let's check field. Okay, so look at this. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Well, let me go ahead and show you the deck list. Hang on. Alright, here's the deck list. I haven't changed much of it. It was the same thing as last videos. But yeah, I think going forward, playing just one of these guys, it should be fine. Summon 0, because you just, of course you want to open it with this guy, but I felt like too many of them was getting a bit bricky, right? As it is, you already have like what? You have 3, inherently the deck already has 6 bricks, right? Because you have 3 summon mode, 3 summon activate, and this, right? That's 7, 8 with this one, 9, 10 bricks, right? So you kind of want to minimize that, so that would have been 12. And that would have been like almost basically a quarter of the deck being bricks, pretty much. And you do not want to do that. So yeah, I guess to kind of aid that inconsistency, you kind of need Mystic Mind to help you stall until you can filter out your hand through draws, you know, and then gradually establish your Stardust while sequencing your bonus turn with your strikes, which imperm with Gamma, right? Like trying to like control what they do, and then slow it down to a tempo where you can just gradually get control of the game by summoning your Stardust Dragons. I put the Gamma before. Gamma wasn't in here, but Gamma is just, you just need to put Gamma in here. It just, yeah, everything else is just part of the sequence, right? You need every single thing. The only flex spots would be Black Rose and Quantum, but I felt like those are just amazing toolbox cards. Like this just nukes the board when you have Mystic Mind. Like if you're gonna go into an aggressive deck that establishes the board, you can just Mystic Mind them, and if that eats a negate, then that's fine. And that's why you play multiple, so you can activate another one, and then just Black Rose and set your strike, set your imperm, and follow up with Gamma, and seeing how consistent how much access you have to these guys. Oh, hang on, just move this away. Put this over here. No, that's over here. There you go. Better. Because you have 3 tanky, 3 Sentinel, 3 Star Reflector, teleport. 1 for 1, so there's an equal amount of just top decking into it and get you back into the game after you just hindered them. You main deck these cards because you do not want to be going up against back row, and it's just one, like it's just 2 cards. It's Duster and this, just like it's not gonna be too too much of an issue if you're going up against a back row deck. I mean, an aggressive board establishing board deck like Rockets or something. So it should be okay, but it's just you do not want to use like Dogmatica or like Eldritch. So that's what this is there. It just helps you equalize the whole situation and control the game with Stardust Dragon. But that's basically it, man. I got the win back from Dinos, man. That was such an epic. The game 1 was insane, like the Gamma, and Ash, and then yeah, that was so cool. Which is why I really like Gamma in this deck. And this guy is just amazing. Like even though we kind of minimized on Assault Mode 0, still it's still really cool. But that's gonna be it. I got locals in a bit. I wanted to get this video up before I left, so I should have enough time to get this video out. And yeah, it's gonna be it. Hopefully enjoy the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. Damn, I'm tired.